On this episode of the Turnbuckle, Ariel Helwani says Tony Khan interview was one of the most frustrating of my career. Adam Cole's AEW future is in doubt due to his injury. Renee Paquette is all elite, and Jimmy Smith didn't like being called a commentator. Folks, it's time to hit a code red into some wrestling news because it's time for the Turnbuckle. Sorry that was really loud. I got really close to the microphone there. I didn't mean to do that. Ariel Helwani commented on a recent interview he conducted with Tony Khan, saying it was one of the not so fun interviews of my career. It sounds like he wants to say one of the most not so fun, but I just said it and it doesn't make any sense, so I understand why he wouldn't say it like that. On the recent episode of the MMA Hour, Helwani said his interview with Khan that took place last week was, quote, one of the most frustrating and, to a degree, not so fun interviews of my career. He went on to say he didn't want to answer anything. Helwani said, "You're going to come on and promote X, Y, and Z. Great, and I'll play that dance with you. I did at the beginning, but you got to give us something. To not even tell me how you were feeling. I'm not asking for specifics. All right, fine, I am. But is Punk going to wrestle for you? Is he coming back? You don't want to get into it. Fine, but tell me how you were feeling. Give me something." During the interview, which was uploaded on October 5th, Tony Khan refused to comment on the backstage altercation between CM Punk, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks that took place on September 5th. When asked about specifics regarding suspensions and the status of those involved in the fight, Khan again said that it was something that he didn't want to talk about. AEW has not commented publicly regarding the fight or the status of Punk, the Young Bucks, Omega, Ace Steel, and the others that were involved. Christopher Daniels, Brandon Cutler, and Michael Nakazawa, who were also suspended around the same time as others, returned to the company shortly after the fight took place. You have to understand that Tony Khan is legally obligated to not say anything. I do not understand how I have to keep beating this over the head of everybody involved. He is legally obligated to not say anything. Why would he jeopardize anything? I do not know the specifics. I don't know. I don't know if he is going to get in trouble. I don't know if he's going to lose some type of thing if he talks about it. I don't know. But I know I'm like 90% sure that the main reason why he doesn't want to say anything is because he does not want to get in trouble. He does not want the lawyers or the court or anything like that. He doesn't want them to knock on his door and be like, hey, you talked about it and we told you not to do that. So now we're fining you, or, oh, you're losing these employees now. Like something bad is now going to start happening to you. There has got to be a reason why he's not doing it. There has to be. And Ariel Helwani, to a certain extent, he has a right to ask him and to get some type of information. But at the end of the day, Ariel Helwani doesn't have a right to get upset because he's asking him information that Tony Khan does not want to disclose. That is information that Tony Khan does not want to talk about. MJF is not talking about it. And MJF talks about everything. He's the salt of the earth. If he doesn't like somebody, he'll tell you. He always tells the truth. Always. He's always going on interviews and saying, oh, this happened and that happened. And what's he always saying? He's always saying, oh, this is a true story. If MJF is not talking about it, that means something. That should tell you everything that you need to know. That should tell you everything that you need to know. I don't understand why everybody is still prodding. And of course, there's going to be people who are watching this, who are listening to the interview and are going, oh, I wouldn't know about it. You can't know about it. Obviously, you can't know about it. And I love that nobody's asking that question. There's got to be a very, very concrete and absolute reason why Tony Khan, the literal head honcho of AEW, is not talking about this. It's his company. Weird that he's not talking about it. There's got to be some sort of specific reason. There's got to be some sort of NDA or legal obligation or contract that he signed. There's got to be something. There's no way that Tony Khan just wouldn't talk about it. Nobody is thinking about that at all. Everybody's just going, oh, Tony Khan, oh, you big dummy, you big fool, you big fart knocker. How come you're not talking about it? I want to know about it, and you're not telling Ariel Helwani, oh, quote unquote, me? I want to know about it. Tell me what I want to know. Let me tell you something right now. Even if he did tell you, your stupid ass wouldn't even know what he's talking about anyway. You'd sit there, drool coming out of your stupid mouth, all right? Too dumb to even realize what the hell he's even going on about. At least I have no semblance to come up to you and go, I wouldn't even know what he's talking about even if he said it to me. I wouldn't know. He's probably going to throw a bunch of legal jargon and court nonsense my way and right over my dome piece. I wouldn't know. But I've got at least some sort of general understanding of why he's not saying it. Ariel Helwani, sure, be upset. I'm not going to tell you not to feel an emotion about this whole situation. But you look stupid when you're prodding somebody over a question that they genuinely cannot give you the answer to, even if they wanted to. I can't believe that a journalist isn't sitting there and going, well, there's got to be some reason why he's not doing it. There's got to be a genuine legal reason as to why he's not doing it. I cannot believe this. Ariel Helwani getting angry tells me everything that I need to know. It tells me that you're not even thinking about that. All you're thinking about is, I want an answer, you're not giving it to me? Well, what the fuck, Tony Khan? What's wrong with you? It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. There's an obvious reason. There's an obvious reason. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Next, we're going to talk about Adam Cole's AEW future in doubt because he has an injury. Where the hell am I? According to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Cole's AEW future is in doubt due to his injury, which is more serious than expected. It's a concussion, Dave said. It's a bad concussion, real bad concussion. He'll be back when he's cleared. It could be tomorrow and it could be never, you know what I mean? I didn't even know that he was injured. I'm not even going to lie to you right now. I had no idea he was injured. Zero. And I'm just now finding out that it was a concussion. And Dave says it's a bad one. So, yeah, he's right. He could never come back. He could be out for months. I have no idea when he could show up. He's more than likely going to be out for the rest of the year. Because what's it, October? He's only got like 2 more months to make some type of appearance. And I doubt that he's going to. It's a concussion. So he's got to, I was going to say he's got to go through concussion protocol, right? He has to do that, obviously. And then I feel like he's got to get back in shape. I don't know. I guess that would have to deal with like a leg injury or something. Can you train when you have a concussion? I don't think that's the most ideal thing to do, I guess. I don't actually know, to be honest. I really don't know. But I didn't know that he was injured. And I had no idea that it was that serious. I don't know when he's going to be back. I genuinely have no idea. It doesn't help that Bobby Fish isn't here. And Kyle O'Reilly's away because he's dealing with if I remember correctly, he is caring to his baby child, So all the entire elite, they're just not here, Not the elite, Undisputed Era, they're not here, So, he's more than likely not going to come back, but as always, I wish for a speedy recovery for him, all right? But yeah, man, I had no idea. Next, we're going to talk about Renee Paquette and how she signs with AEW. Tony Khan announced Wednesday afternoon that Paquette had signed with the company. Welcome to the team at Renee Paquette Welcome to the team at Renee Paquette is All Elite. See you soon, coming up at 8 p.m. Paquette noted on social media today that she was in Toronto, which is also the home of tonight's AEW Dynamite. Fightful reported on October 8th that WWE sources who had recently made inquiries regarding Paquette believe that she would soon be working for AEW. My initial thoughts on this were like, oh, she's here? Okay, well, great, I didn't get to see like the first chunk of Raw. Where's my phone? That was weird. I don't know where that came from. I didn't get to see the first chunk of Raw because we were getting the network, the show up, the channel. There we go. We were getting the channel up, and so I didn't really see the first bit of it. So I don't know if she like made an entrance or something, or like they announced it when the show was on the air. I saw her. She did an interview, which is great, and I assume that that's like the role that she's going to be playing because that's the role that she played before. She's like the commentator. I don't know how to put it. But she's not really a commentator. She's more of like a backstage figure. There you go. She's like a backstage figure, which isn't a bad thing. I don't want anybody to take that in like a negative light. If any listen, all right, there are amazing backs. Fucking Alex Marvez. Hello? Like, what is wrong with you? Gosh. Anyway, she signed. I wanted to talk about this because no matter what, this is still news. This is still a thing that we need to address. Renee Paquette is here. And did she really? She left the company in 2020 and has since pivoted to podcasting. Oh yeah, the sessions as well as a radio show on SiriusXM with Maisha Tate. It was recently announced that she would be starting a new Cincinnati Bengals podcast called Renee All Day. Oh, that's where it came from. It's, okay, so who they? The who they think gonna beat them Bengals. It's who they think gonna beat them Bengals. But I guess you could put like any team who they think gonna beat them Cowboys, Giants. It's like 2 syllables, right? Cardinals. What's it? Who they think gonna beat them Browns? Yeah, you could still do that. So that was the only thing that confused me because I was like, oh, I wonder where it originated from. But it was Bengals. So I guess that's where that came from. Not really much else to say, to be honest, but I still wanted to talk about it. And then it's like, okay, so I was like, oh, they didn't really make too much of a stink about it. But then again, I mean, how much of a stink are you gonna make? You know, like how much of a stink is how much stink is gonna come from it? You know, I mean, it's not like she's a wrestler or anything. It's still a very like you know, impactful debut, but at the same time, you know, I mean, it's not like she like pops out of the stage like Rey Mysterio, you know. So, but listen, I'm glad that she's there. And now she's with Moxley. So, you know, now she can be on the road with him, which is, I'm sure, like, what, 75% of the reason why she wanted to come? No, I mean, listen, man, I can't think of the words. I don't take any issue with that. Finally, Jimmy Smith didn't like being called a commentator in WWE. While speaking on MMA on SiriusXM, Jimmy Smith made it clear that he does not like being called a commentator in WWE. First off, let me explain that I wasn't a commentator in the WWE, Smith said. I was not. I played a commentator on television, and that's not an insult. I'm not saying it wasn't difficult or not. It was very difficult, but it's like, you're a character pretending to commentate fake fights. And I had a mailbag question about, man, you're always staring at the screen. I was like, yeah, because you're not supposed to acknowledge anything that's not on the screen. Anything the fans can't see, I don't see. Yeah, I see Finn Balor running into the ring with a chair. I'm not blind, but I'm not supposed to acknowledge it because they shoot around it until he is edged over the head with a chair. So I'm not supposed to see it until the audience sees it. So I'm like blinding myself, literally. I have blinders on. I just watch the stream. I'm not telling you what's really happening. I'm not telling you what you're not seeing, which is kind of the fun part of doing commentary. It's having that in-depth analysis that you're not really able to do, or that vision that you're not really able to have in WWE. Originally, right, I was like, that's stupid. You're a commentator. Why are you saying that you don't want to be called a commentator? But he said, I'm playing a commentator on TV. That is, and then I thought about it. That's the equivalent of me going out into the rain and speaking like a meteorologist. But I'm not actually a meteorologist. I'm just pretending to be one. You know, like, you can pretend to be a commentator. That doesn't make you a commentator. You can pretend to be a meteorologist. You're not actually one. My whole thing, right, is that I feel like, despite how fake wrestling is, the commentary aspect of it, right? The backstage interviews and stuff like that, that to a certain degree has to be grounded in some sort of reality. There needs to be like some sort of like realism surrounded by that. So at the end of the day, I mean, okay, so they got Mauro Ranallo, right? For a time, and then Mauro Ranallo went on to do other commentary, right? It was for like, I think it was for like boxing or UFC or something like that. So why would they hire him to do that? They wouldn't hire him to do that because obviously they'd be like, oh, Mauro, you were a commentator on a fake wrestling show. So you're not actually a commentator. You just played one. So you don't know how to commentate. But I would argue that Mauro Ranallo is probably one of the greatest commentators of this generation. Okay? And you can do whatever you want to me, all right? I will die on that hill. I think Mauro Ranallo is absolutely fantastic. I think Michael Cole is absolutely fantastic. I think Corey Graves is absolutely fantastic. Byron Saxton, I think he's absolutely fantastic. I think all of them bring their own je ne sais quoi, if you will, to the announce desk. Does that mean they're not announcers? I would certainly put Michael Cole in the Hall of Fame of announcing or commentator. Oh, see? So now I'm getting it mixed up because why did I say announcer? Because I was definitely thinking earlier, I was like, aren't announcers the one that announce people to the ring and the commentator's the one that commentate on the matches? But I guess like an announcer because he's like announcing what's happening. I don't know. That was weird. Yeah, it was weird that I slipped that in there. That was very strange. But anyway, I mean, yeah, to a certain extent, he's right. He's not really a commentator, really, you know. But then it's like, you could argue that Michael Cole's a commentator. Mauro Ranallo's a commentator. I'm pretty sure if you put Joe Rogan or Dana White, no, Dana White doesn't commentate. If you put Joe Rogan in the WWE, I feel like he would commentate, right? Like, I don't know. I thought I was going to talk about Daniel Cormier. I guess I didn't. So Daniel Cormier, I'm just going to address that. Daniel Cormier said he had the time of his life. Okay. He was amazed by all the wrestlers. He said, okay, so as he was going to the ring, he said he was getting heckled, and he said that some of the people in the crowd said he looked like Carl Winslow. And that's kind of funny. If I'm if you're Daniel Cormier, you gotta laugh at that, man. You're Daniel Cormier. You're like one of the most renowned UFC fighters in the world. You're gonna get upset at somebody calling you Carl Winslow? Ay. He also said, okay, so they were like, he was like, yeah, they were like, hey, we want to do more stuff with you. But Cormier was like, I got to get in shape first before, I do anything else. Which is fair. That's fine. I mean, me personally, I don't really care. You don't have to get in shape. I'd love to have you a special guest referee, a manager, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to get you in the ring, but the fact that you do want to get in shape tells me that you do want to get in the ring. So you know what? You do your thing, and listen, you call me back when you're all set and ready to go, and we will get something for you, boss man, okay? So, boys, what did we talk about? Ariel Helwani says the Tony Khan interview was one of the most frustrating. Ariel, man, you have to understand that there are certain things that people cannot talk about. I think that you just, as a journalist, you need to understand that when you ask it, because Brian Alvarez and even Dave Meltzer were saying the exact same thing. If I ask a question, and they're not answering me, move on. Talk about something else. Don't just keep prodding, because then it just derails the entire interview. Adam Cole's AEW future is in doubt due to his injury. I didn't know he had a concussion. I didn't even know it was that serious. I hope he makes a speedy recovery, and he's probably not going to be back for the rest of the year. Renee Paquette is all elite. Great. She gets to be with Moxley, and I mean, she gets to do more. Okay, it's really hard to talk about this because it's not like she wasn't doing anything. She had the sessions. She has a radio show. She has a radio show. Like, she's got stuff going on. This is just adding to the things that she's doing, which is great. And, you know, again, she gets to be with Moxley. And who doesn't want to be with John Moxley? Okay? And if you say you're a liar, first of all, and a monster. And Jimmy Smith didn't like being called a commentator, which is fair, because he technically wasn't one. But then again, was Morrow not a commentator? Is Morrow not a commentator? Is Michael Cole not a commentator? I would definitely call them commentators. But listen, all right, I personally, I have no idea, okay? Folks, that's going to do it for this episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode, because I certainly enjoyed making it. We're just going to go with this outro. I don't know, and I'll definitely catch you guys in the next one.